This case might look like just another robbery sentencing, but don't let that fool you, because what you're about to witness is a courtroom moment where everything is on the line, and one decision will change a young man's entire life forever. A teenage offender walks into court after pleading guilty to aggravated robbery, a first-degree felony. No deal, no guaranteed outcome, just one judge holding all the power. On one side, the defense is asking for something bold, probation. They argue he's young, misguided, trying to help his family, and deserves a second chance. But on the other side, the prosecution isn't just asking for prison. They're demanding a message be sent, a warning to anyone thinking about picking up a gun. And then there's the video evidence, a moment so serious that even the defense admits it makes their job harder. But here's where it gets intense. This isn't just about what happened in that store. It's about a pattern of behavior, a rising problem in the community, and a judge who's clearly had enough. So now the question becomes, do you give a young offender another chance? Or do you make an example out of him? Because when that sentence finally drops, no one in that courtroom is ready for what happens next.
Hayden Fontanet, Mr. Rojas, at the sentencing. Good morning. Are you Hayden
Yes.
Fontanet? And this is 25 DCCR 1759. Mr. Fontanet was previously in court, entered a plea of guilty to the first-degree felony offense of aggravated robbery. It was an unagreed plea. I've received the pre-sentence report. Have you both had an opportunity to review that report?
We have, Your Honor. The state is, Judge.
Are there any additions or corrections to the report?
Not from the defense, not from the state, Judge.
And Mr. Coleman, you said you have a witness or some evidence.
Actually, Judge, Mr. Rojas has graciously stipulated to the admission of the surveillance video from the convenience store in question. So
Okay.
I need to call my custodian record. With the court's permission, first of all, I'm offering states one. No, Judge.
Make that states two, because this one was the plea admonishment documentation, please.
I'm offering states two. No objection.
States two is admitted.
Permission to publish, Judge.
Yes, sir.
Judge, I think that's all I wish to publish unless the court wants to see the entirety of the video.
But I think that's enough. Any other evidence or witnesses?
So, Judge, just brief argument if I may.
Any other evidence or witnesses for Mr. Rojas?
No, Your Honor, just like...
Mr. Rojas, you may make argument first.
Thank
Go
you,
ahead.
Judge. And obviously, after seeing that video,
This is a classic defense strategy, but it's a tough sell given the circumstances. The attorney is building a narrative. Young offender, no serious prior record, bad environment, poor decisions, but not a bad person. He's even framing the robbery as something driven by desperation, trying to help his family financially. And legally speaking, that matters. Judges do consider background, age, and potential for rehabilitation when deciding between probation and prison. But here's the problem, and you can hear it in the lawyer's tone. Even he admits the video makes things worse. Because when a firearm is involved in a robbery, especially with multiple offenders, the stakes change completely. So now ask yourself this. If someone commits a violent crime with a gun, but claims they were trying to help their family, does that change how you judge their actions? Because the prosecution is about to take a very different stance.
video, it makes what we're asking for harder to do. What we're here asking for this morning, Judge, is probation. Mr. Fontanet, he is a young offender. I know the court is tired of hearing the same story over and over, being young guys with guns in here. He's got a limited criminal history. I believe this is his first felony. He's never been on any kind of felony supervision or felony probation. Unfortunately, he's just fallen into the same situation that we see so many other youthful offenders fall into. He's got no direction in life. He's very little support at home. Sees no way out of the situation that he's in, so he goes and decides to rob a store and get some money. Did the wrong thing. And if his story in the PSI is to be believable for what I believe is the right reason, he's trying to help his mom out at home, he's trying to pay some bills, keep the lights on. Certainly there are better ways to go about doing that. And I hope that the time in jail has taught Mr. Fontanet that. We've got options here, Judge. We can send him to prison or we can put him on probation. Certainly he's on the road if this conduct continues, he's on the road with prison. I don't know that the day is the best time to make that exit for him. He's got a long life to live. We can send him to prison. He can be there for a few years and come back out. I don't know that he's going to get the help that he really needs in prison. There are programs available on probation that if he's serious about turning his life around, like he says in the PSI, those programs can help him. And if he does take advantage of those, it in turn would make the community a little bit safer, because there'd be one less guy running around with a gun when he does get out of prison, if that were the road that you chose to take. Planning on living at home with his mom. I think he has some younger siblings there. To his benefit, before he was even arrested, he started a GED. I think on the night that this happened, he had just finished a GED class and made a dumb decision to go hang out with these guys that he should not have been hanging out with, and did this robbery. Again, Judge, you've got two options. You can send him to prison, or you can try to get him some help on probation, and hopefully he will take advantage of that. And certainly if he doesn't, we're going to know pretty quick, and you'll have another chance to send him to prison probably for a longer time.
All right. Thank you. What is the status of the other two? Are there co-defendants? Have they been charged?
They have been charged, Judge, and I have both of their cases, Judge.
And they have not been sentenced yet or anything like that? Okay. All right. Go ahead, Mr. Coleman.
Yeah, I'll be brief. Whether it's the Pine Club Apartments or Rogers Park or a Speedy Mart, you've seen this, and we've seen this in this community all too often. I'm preaching to the choir, Judge. Prayer vigils and advisory committees, all of that stuff's fine, but you judge where the rubber meets the road. You are that person that can protect the community from somebody like this defendant. You are that person that can either let him walk out of this courtroom on probation with a piece of paper with conditions and promises that he...
This right here is where the courtroom shifts from argument to reality. The prosecutor isn't just talking about this defendant anymore. He's talking about the entire community. He's painting a bigger picture: rising crime, fear in public spaces, and a pattern that needs to be stopped. And notice the language, where the rubber meets the road. That's not just rhetoric. He's directly telling the judge, you are the one who decides whether the community is protected or put at risk again. Legally, this is about deterrence, sending a message that violent crimes, especially involving guns, will have serious consequences. But here's the key moment. He specifically mentions sentences like 15, 20, even 25 years. That's not random. That's planting an idea. So now the tension is building. Is the judge going to follow that line of thinking? Or give this young defendant the second chance his lawyer is asking for?
That he won't resort to this kind of violence that you saw on that video, or you can ensure that the community is safe by putting him behind steel bars, concrete wall, and razor wire fence. I'm just asking. I'm not in the habit of begging, but on behalf of this community, I'm begging that you send this defendant to prison. The message that needs to be sent to this defendant and his circle of friends and anybody who would want to be like this defendant is that if you pick up a gun with the intent to commit violence, you're going to pick up a 15, 20, 25-year prison sentence, Judge. And I'm just asking that you do this on behalf of people who live at the Pine Club Apartments, who just want to live in peace, people who want to go take a walk at Rogers Park and not be robbed, and somebody that wants to stop at a Speedy Mart convenience store and pick up some snacks without becoming a victim of a robbery. That's all I have, Judge.
Thank you, Mr. Coleman. So, Mr. Fontenette, there was a time some years ago that there really wasn't even a question. State's attorneys were recommending youthful offenders, probation. Let's give everybody an opportunity. And things have just changed in such an incredibly dangerous way with young people doing what I just saw you do on that screen. I cannot imagine the fear that person had that was working in that store, that he now has, just trying to go to work, make a living, and go home. And he has 3 people come in and not just grab a little quick something and run out, but terrorize him for quite some time. Pulling him around, yanking him around, putting guns in his face, all 3 of you. I also, in addition to the PSI, get jail incident reports. And you apparently like to fight and jump people, which is what's been happening in the jail. So it makes it very difficult for me to go, oh, this is somebody that's going to get out and behave, who can follow the rules, because you can't even follow the rules in jail. And the pre-sentence report shows that you're a high risk level, which tells me that after they've looked at everything, that you don't have, unfortunately, a good likelihood of being successful if I were to put you on probation. And Mr. Coleman's right. We're tired of it. And there's got to be something done. So in cause number 25, DCCR 1759, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily. I'm going to find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. And at this time, I'm going to find you guilty of aggravated robbery. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 25 years in the institutional division. I'm going to sentence you to a term of 25 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. I'm handing you the trial court certification. This was not an agreement. You have some rights to appeal. I have also handed you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgment entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. You can talk to Mr. Rojas about any questions you have about that. I am making an affirmative finding of a deadly weapon. Mr. Fontenette, I understand that this is harsh, and I know you believe this.
And just like that, everything changes. What started as a case where probation was seriously being considered ends with a 25-year prison sentence. That's not just a punishment. That's a life-altering decision. Let's break it down. The judge looked at three major factors: the severity of the crime captured on video, the defendant's behavior even while in jail, and a risk assessment that labeled him as high risk. And based on that, the court decided that probation wasn't just risky. It was unacceptable. This wasn't just about one robbery. It was about protecting the public, sending a message, and addressing a growing problem of violent offenses by young individuals. And then came the reaction: emotion, disbelief, chaos. Because when expectations don't match reality, the impact hits even harder. So now I want to hear from you. Was this sentence justified or too harsh for a young first-time offender? If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.
This is harsh, but I think this is necessary. I hope that you go and you make things right. You can get out of prison. You're still going to be young and you can make your life better. That's going to be up to you. Okay. You can go back with the bailiff.